Wonderful good day, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning and very warm welcome out of Munich, out of our studios, Commodity TV here in Munich. And with me here is John Budreski, the new executive chairman of EnWave, you know, the dehydration company out of Vancouver. We have interviewed several times John McNichol and also Brent Charlton, and now John Budreski is in charge. He is replacing John McNichol. And yeah, we want, of course, to know what makes him able to do the job and who is John Budreski. John, good morning.
Good morning, thank you. Thank you for having me today.
Yeah, great to have you here. Yeah, first of all, who are you, from where are you, and what bring you with you to accelerate EnWave and to make it to a big success as it is already?
I'm a Canadian. I've always lived in Canada, although I've lived in different parts of Canada. I grew up in eastern Canada. I worked in Calgary. I worked in Toronto. I also worked in Wall Street in New York for 4 years as well.
Wow.
Currently reside in Vancouver. I joined EnWave because I knew John McNichol for the last 8 years, and I was really impressed with what John had done with the company and the stage that the company had reached. And John invited me to take over from him and bring the company to the next level, and that's quite exciting, and that's what brought me to the company.
Bring the company to the next level. I like that. But I think you're also an engineer, right?
I'm an engineer by original schooling. I practiced petroleum engineering for 6 years.
Okay.
And then I spent about 25 years in all stations in the investment business. And I'm a natural tinker. I enjoy engineering things, and I still do a lot of things with my hands and with machinery and such. So EnWave is a little bit of going back to my roots.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds to me a bit that you have the perfect match, financing, or let's say from the finance side and the engineering side. I think both needs EnWave for the future. Let's come to the company. What is the status today? What have you found so far? Where are we now with EnWave? So
my career has been in building companies. I really enjoy building companies. And sometimes I fix broken companies. And sometimes I take companies and make them go faster, or I scale them to a bigger size. And that's what attracted me to EnWave, was that it was a scalable company. And what I've seen in my early days is that they've done a great job of taking the company to a level of early commercialization. And I think my job going forward is to expand that commercialization, accelerate the company's business, and going from more research-oriented to more revenue-oriented.
I think that's what shareholders like to hear, revenue-oriented.
I think they do.
Can you give us a bit of an idea, revenue-oriented? What was the first 6 months this year so far? What could be the outlook for 2014 and 2015 a bit?
The first 6 months so far this year has been not a material number, and I don't have a forecast for what we're going to have in the last 6 months of this year or in the coming year. What I do know is that this is a product that has appealed to a broad range of food companies, and then also pharmaceutical and other companies as well. So I think the job at hand is to convert a small number of commercial relationships, research relationships that we have today, into a very large number of revenue producing relationships. The business model is not to sell equipment. The business model is to capture a royalty for the technology that we have. In part of capturing that royalty, we will build equipment and sell it to our partners.
You have been several times in Germany, and I always remember you had those samples from the Moon cheese with you.
Yes.
And I love the cheese. I think it's a fantastic product. Can you give any comment? How is it going? As I know you have a testing phase with Kroger in the US.
Yes.
Yeah? Can you comment a little bit? Do you have some feedback from customers? Do the people like it? I know you cannot disclose any sale numbers, that's for sure. But just a feedback. Do people like it? What's the status?
So there's two surveys for that. The first one is the one that I did with all of my friends and family, and save for one person who's very fussy about cheese, we've had an outstanding response in the people that I know to the product. So that's comforting for me. And then in terms of Kroger and others, it's early days, but all these signs are quite encouraging on that. So we're feeling comfortable about where that's going to go.
Very good. So that's positive.
That's positive.
I like that. Perfect. Can you comment a little bit more on the pharmaceutical side? Anything about, let's say, Sutro Biopharma? You did there a new commercial license. Also with Merck, you are working on the research side.
Yes.
Is there anything you can tell us about?
There's nothing I can say other than the character of that business is that it's a very long term. It's a long cycle. It's a long sales cycle in that business. So while we can do things in a shorter time period with the food industry, we're going to do things over a longer time period with the pharmaceutical business. It's worth the extra time, because in the pharmaceutical business, once you get attached, there'll be a longer cycle for the particular product, and I'd like to think there's going to be a higher margin for the product as well.
Okay. You did recently financing also, and also what I liked, you participated before you started your job, I think with $150,000 of your own money.
That's correct.
You paid into at 135, that was above market.
Yes.
So that, I think that shows that you are committed to the company.
Well, there's a couple of things in that. When I first met John McNichol several years ago, I was impressed with him as a person, and I was impressed with him as a businessman, and I liked the business of the company. So I immediately bought some shares just for my own purposes, somewhere around $80,000 to $100,000 worth of shares that I bought. And then when I looked at joining in the company, I'm a believer that I should invest in this company. So I put another $150,000 in, and I was happy to buy at above the market price because I'm not in this company to turn $1.30 into $1.50. I'm in this company to pay $1.35 when the shares were trading for $1.27 and have it go into many dollars of value. So the first 7 cents has no meaning to me.
Very good. I think I like to hear it also, as I'm a shareholder too. And I think that's the right approach. Long-term oriented, and you want to turn this into whatever, $5, $7, $10. Like we don't know, but we hope that the business goes like this.
That's correct.
What are your short-term objectives you want to achieve? Let's say by end of the year.
There's a few things I want to do. I want to have the company function. I want to have the company function a bit more efficiently, and that's something that's always been my history in terms of running things, but I think there's some communication things that can be done. I'd like to work with the folks at Binder. I think there's some better synergies that we can achieve out of working with the Binder people, and that's what has me in Munich today. I've only been with the company for 2 weeks, but already I'm going to see Binder, and I want to see how that works and make sure that we optimize the relationship. They have a long manufacturing history, and we have in Vancouver, we have a short manufacturing history. We have a lot of technology that's new. They have a lot of traditional technology. Somewhere between those two operations, there's a great cross-pollination opportunity that should be fully exploited. So that's one of my objectives. The other one is I want to accelerate the pace of finding new prospective partners, and I want to shorten the time for bringing new partners from the testing stage to the pilot stage, research stage, into the commercial paying stage. I would like to shorten that time period up. And so I'll be focusing my time in the coming months to figuring out ways to do that and then achieving that.
This reminds me a little bit also coming back to the financing you did with the company. I think you have enough money to achieve everything, let's say, until you are profitable. Is that correct?
That is my sincere hope, yes, it is.
Yeah.
It feels that way to me. Yep, I'm comfortable with that.
Super. How much money is now in the bank?
Around $8 million.
Okay, and you have a burn rate of something like 3.5, 4?
Yes, and so that'll be a place where I'll pay my attention as well on the burn rate to make sure that any dollar spent is spent for good value.
Great, perfect. So, John, thank you very much for this short update.
Thank you.
To be honest, I like what I hear.
Good to hear. I really like this company. I have a passion for building business, and I have a passion for building businesses that are very solid, strong, growth-oriented business, and this is one. It was very easy for me to join the company when John McNichol said, why don't you come aboard? And I looked at it, and in a short period of time, I said, this is something I want to do. I really like this opportunity, and I like where the business is in terms of where it can go from here. And it's a place where my skill set lends itself very well. So I'm excited to be on board, and I'm really enjoying my first few weeks here.
So you are fully in.
I am fully in.
Great. Yes. John, thank you very much. All the best for that.
Thank you.
I hope that we can interview you quite soon, maybe in fall or let's say latest in winter.
Yep.
And then you can disclose some more numbers. You are deeper in the business. As you said, you are already only 2 weeks there.
Yep.
But I like that you are already with Binder and you meet shareholders, etc., and you take care of the whole thing. So we stay tuned, and we will update, and we look forward to meet you again.
And hopefully I have more and better things to report to you in the coming months.
We hope so too. Thank you very much,
Thank
John.
you. Bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it. That was John Budreski, the new executive chairman of EnWave. And he's fully into the business. He paid $150,000 of his own money in before he started to work for the company. Something I like personally a lot, to be honest, because this is a real commitment. And you heard it. He wants to accelerate the business. He wants to get things faster done. He wants to bring research and development agreements faster into paying licenses. I think that's something what we like to hear, what our shareholders like to hear. And we keep you updated. Thanks, and bye-bye from Munich.
Thank you.